know this stuff is bad for you. Drinking too much caffeine is never a good thing. And relying on caffeine to go get a workout in is not good. Not in any way, not in any stretch of the imagination. But here we are. It's gonna dirty up my car. That's what happens when you don't have any at home. Just one scoop. Into the water you go. Close this thing up. And hopefully none of it spills. I got no water in here. I'm gonna need to get water from the gym. Oh my goodness, this is so embarrassing. First sip. Oh, it's beautiful. Oh, it's strong. It's not dissolved in that water at all. Oh my God, it's a beautiful bird. Let's go get an hour of power.
I've always enjoyed watching YouTube more than the average person. I would always spend more time on YouTube than I would on Netflix, Hulu, or any other streaming services. I think I was always drawn to the idea that anybody could pick up a camera, press record, and share what they made with the world for anyone to see. As a kid, I would spend hours on YouTube just watching anything about any of my interests. I first decided to upload onto YouTube when I was in elementary school. I took an old video camera and all I did was sit it on my porch and just record my thoughts as the camera faced the outside. Of course, no one wanted to hear an 11-year-old talk about CM Punk versus John Laurinaitis, so I didn't have much of an audience. But I experimented with all sorts of content. I would begin uploading my Pokemon shiny hunting videos onto YouTube using my old digital camera that I stole from my older brother. But then I stopped because I didn't like the sound of my voice. My voice still made it very obvious that I was a kid, and I was so afraid of being perceived as someone who didn't know what they were talking about or what they were doing. The first medium that I put any real effort into was stop motion animation. I would take my old WWE action figures and my homemade playsets like rings and arenas, and I would make stop motion movies animating the different wrestling moves and the different promos that wrestlers would cut. I took my old Nintendo DSi and I would use that as my main photography camera, and I would snap hundreds and hundreds of photos. I would then import those images onto my family computer, upload them to Windows Movie Maker, and make movies that I could share with the internet. But there was one major problem. I was a teenager, and whether I want to admit it or not, as a teenager, and even now as an adult, I want to fit in. Everybody strives to fit in. And that was my problem, because I wasn't going to fit in if I was making movies playing with my old toys and a camera. So in order to fit in with the people that I thought were cool, I gave up on something that I loved doing and something that actually made me pretty cool myself. In college, I decided to pursue a dream that I had wanted to do since I was a kid, and that was make it to the Pokemon World Championships. So I started playing competitive Pokemon again, and I would go to tournaments and I would play online. Playing competitive Pokemon lit a creative spark in my brain. And this led to me streaming my matches on Twitch, it led to me uploading videos on YouTube of my matches, and it led to me even uploading some vlogs. But since at the time I was working 2 jobs and I was a full-time student, I just didn't have the time to do it anymore. I quickly burnt out. I just recorded a full workout. I wouldn't say a full workout, a full bench press and a full monologue. I didn't hit record. I'm facing my fears, but for what? I'm not even getting it on video. 3 reps, easy. I hit the bar. Damn. I really felt like that could have been 3, but I hella bumped the bar against the bench itself. Chalked up. Let's do this. 3 reps, easy mode. Only 2. We're gonna stick with 2, because that one almost went down on me pretty bad. Fuck, suddenly it just got heavier. That wasn't as easy as I hoped.
Okay, so I recorded 90% of my workout, and honestly, it was terrifying. I'm not gonna lie. I was
Very nervous, but you know what? I feel like as the more that my audience grows, the more comfortable I am speaking in front of people. I say as I'm speaking in my car where no one can hear me, when I sing along with you. This is easy mode. Anything could ever be this forever. Everything could ever be this good again. The only thing I'd ever ask of you, you gotta promise not to stop when I say you. But I truly do feel like as I do this more often and the more I just give it a shot, the more that I put myself out there and you know what, just stop caring about if people see my camera or not and if people hear me speaking to the camera or not, the more comfortable I get with it and the less I care about what other people are thinking. And it's tough. I'm not gonna sit here and act like it's an easy thing to do and like I'm the total pro. You can probably tell from just watching what I did that I was a little quiet. I was whispering. I was trying not to draw attention to myself. And it is still nerve-wracking, but honestly, I'm getting more comfortable with it. And I'm glad that it's a skill that I'm acquiring because I want to do it more often. Oh, I probably shouldn't have yelled that loud, but we'll leave it at that. All right, let's continue. Okay, last thing we got to do is some sit-ups. I'm always down for some sit-ups at the end of a workout. 1, 2, 3, 10. We always go up to 20 on the first one. 12, 13, 14, 18, 19, 20. Still got to do 30 more. 6. This is where I got to start channeling John Cena. Never give up. 7. Last 15. 4, 5, 6. Oh! My abs are on fire. This six-pack better be ready by the summer. There was always something in the way. As a kid, I was too embarrassed to put myself out there because the voice I had was one that clearly belonged to a child. Then when I found something that I could do without having to share my voice or my face, and something that I enjoyed doing, I stopped because I was afraid of what other people, who were also 14, would think of me. And while in college, I was finally able to afford the equipment that I wanted to make high-quality videos with. I did. Until life got too busy, or until I convinced myself that it got too busy. I was always so concerned with how others perceived me that it stopped me from making content the way I wanted to make content. And then when I finally got the confidence to do it again, life got in the way. And my audience never really grew the way that I hoped it would. But why? Because I was so afraid of the perception of others, I never really got around to using my greatest asset when making videos. Myself. I'd like to think that I'm a cool and interesting person, in real life. But the internet seems to scare that all away. Using social media since I was a young teenager and even an adult has made me far too aware of what people might think of me. Why is that? Because at the same time that I am so unafraid to be myself unapologetically in the real world, dress the way I want, talk the way I want, look the way I want, listen to the music that I want, when it comes to the internet, it's a whole different beast and I become a shell of who I am in real life. As a young adult, I learned to stop caring about what other people think and just to be myself and share my own interests with the world because somebody's gonna think that it's cool. So why couldn't I do the same thing online? Why was it so much harder this way? Somewhere along the line, I became afraid of being myself. Now enough with the funny business. I know what you're really here for, and that's the fit check, right? Brown has been my favorite color to wear over the last couple of weeks. I'm sure you've noticed in some of the last videos that I posted, and all of the videos that I posted, except for just the most recent one, I've been wearing a lot of brown. That's not an accident. Brown has been feeling like the color of the winter for me. Today, I wanted to wear a bandana because I'm not sure how much longer I want to keep the long hair. So I want to experiment with the hairstyles and the different appearances that I can accomplish with it before I chop it all off. But I am a teacher, I am a professional, right? If I'm gonna be wearing a bandana, I gotta offset it with a tie. But Mr. Marquez likes to wear a lot of accessories. So we got the little gold chain right here to match the gold piercings in my nose, and a little gold bracelet. Not real gold because, you know, teaching don't pay like that. But we also got the vest, the leather vest. Simple jeans, 12 bucks at a Walmart. We got the matching brown socks. I've been using the Osmo Pocket 3 now for about a week and a half.
And I think my favorite thing about this is how discreet it allows me to be when I'm recording, because as you've probably noticed, I am a little bit shy recording in public. It's just something that takes practice. You get more used to it the more that you do it. Having a camera that is this tiny, where a lot of the times people don't even notice it or people don't even realize that it's a camera, it just allows me to be a little bit more discreet with my recording, as opposed to using my mirrorless camera or using my phone to record. But the gimbal, along with some of the accessories that I've purchased, just allow me to try all sorts of new different shots that I wouldn't have been able to accomplish with my phone or with my camera. There's something to be said about having equipment that makes you want to create, right? So while buying something like a guitar might be expensive, because it's expensive, you might be more inclined to actually use it so as to not let your money feel like it's going to waste. And I think I'm inclined to use the camera more often because I don't want to see my money go to waste. And honestly, I think I've just been in love with this camera since the moment I took it out of the box, and I take it everywhere with me now, and my friends are probably going to get tired of me using this camera all the time.
I finally come to the realization that what people see online, how I present myself online, it's just an extension of who I am in real life. So what if people want to make fun of me or have a little laugh at my expense? I'm cool, and I know I'm cool. I don't need to prove to anybody that I'm interesting or cool, because I know it myself. I stopped trying to make myself look appealing or interesting in ways that other people might find cool, and I've just started making myself appealing in the way that I think is cool, because if I think it's interesting, then it is. I can only imagine the amount of progress that I would have made in my content creation had I not been so afraid of the way I was perceived, or if I had just been myself. Last year, I found that I was making a ton of excuses for myself. I graduated college and had started my career job, and yet I was still finding a way to tell myself that I didn't have enough time. I knew I was lying to myself because I had finally gotten a consistent work schedule, and the reality was I had more time on my hands now than I had in years. I remember hearing someone say, "Time is gonna pass anyway, so just do it." Just start what you want to start and pursue what you want to pursue, because if you don't, you are guaranteeing that it will never work out for you. But if you do, worst case scenario, you end up doing something that you enjoy, and it might even turn into something more than that. Am I still busy as it's a Whitney's going crazy. Am I still busy as always? Absolutely. Being a teacher takes up a lot of my time in and out of work, but I'm always down to try a new hobby, and really I'm always down to try something new. Life isn't over until it's over, and I want to say that I live my life to the fullest. I can't say that if I'm too afraid to try new things and I'm constantly making excuses for myself, making excuses like, I'm too old for that, it's too late for me to start now, I don't have time, or worst of all, what will people think of me? Today is a good day to start. I don't care about how I'm perceived because of my hobbies anymore. The same way that as a teenager, I stopped being ashamed of liking Smash Bros, Pokemon, WWE, and music that my friends considered girly, I'm gonna stop being ashamed of just being myself on camera. Being perceived on the internet is not the enemy. Being afraid of how you're being perceived is.